Well, a big hello and happy Monday to everyone joining us today on the Player Pundit Hangout. It is Monday, June 8th today. I got the date right, and I promised myself I would not yell after nearly giving Kyle Becker a heart attack on Friday. Didn't want to do it to his Forge teammate, Chris Nanco, who joins us today for the second time as well. It's been 2 months and 7 days, but who's counting since the last time we had the chance to speak to Chris? So, Chris, aside from the big news of getting back to the training pitch, how are things going for you?
Things are good. Just been, trying to stay healthy and stay safe, spending a lot of time with my family and whatnot. So, things are, and obviously working on my brand, trying to get that off the ground and stuff while I have all this time on my hands. But yeah, can't complain. Things are doing well.
I literally just wanted to have Chris on the show today so I could confirm my haircut appointment now that I'm allowed to get one as of Friday. So if we're all good to go, Chris, we can say goodbye right now. And that was the easiest hangout of them all.
Hey, sounds good to me.
You know the familiar faces here as well, but they still need an introduction every single time. Kurt Larson and Oliver Platt. Kurt, how was your weekend, buddy?
It was good, man. I want to alert people to the fact that we actually, you've seen that too, right, Kurt? The finished product of the OneSoccer documentary on the picked up cuts.
Yeah, of course.
So it's out there. So take a look at that.
Ollie, what about you?
What am I doing?
Just how was your weekend? How were things overall? Ollie, how many days have we been doing this? I always ask you for an update.
Yeah, not really anything new to report. Nice weekend. Had a couple of walks as I promised on Friday, and that was about it.
Well, hopefully this next half hour is going to be just a little bit more entertaining than that. As we mentioned Forge training, we're going to get to that a little bit later on the show. But one of the reasons why we wanted to have Chris on the show, all kidding aside, all haircut jokes aside, was you've been doing some pretty fantastic work on social media and with your brand Kicked Up Culture, raising money for some pretty fantastic causes, a certain cause in particular. So tell us about the Kicked Up charity, Chris, and how it all came to be.
Yeah, I mean, I always knew that eventually like charity work was something I wanted to get into. I was actually planning on doing that more at the end of the year after the season. But I saw an opportunity to help out and to be a part of something that's bigger going forward. Yeah, I wanted to get into it right away. But yeah, we're fundraising through my brand Kicked Up Culture. We're fundraising for specifically for bailout funds and to help those struggling at this time with everything going on in America. And it happens everywhere in the world, but specifically right now in America. Yeah, just to help out families there and stuff like that. But yeah, specifically to help those who are wrongfully arrested by police for peaceful protesting. It's going to their bailout funds.
So that's the Kicked Up Culture for Equality fundraiser. It's on GoFundMe right now. I'm sure Armin will either put the link in the description or in the chat. We also have it on Chris's social media profiles and in the description of this video. So $1,389 is the current goal. Chris, I want to ask you, obviously this has been such a tumultuous time, specifically in America, but the protests following the murder of George Floyd and just the tipping point that led to all of this movement for equality and the end of police brutality. Was there a specific moment throughout these past couple of weeks where you really said, I need to do this fundraiser, I want to do this fundraiser right now? Was there a tipping point, or has it just been the buildup of the movement since since this death, excuse me?
I think it was, I think it was more of a buildup and just like seeing that incident happen, and then seeing like all my friends posting stuff on Instagram, on their social medias and stuff like that, and just like talking to people as well, and seeing how many people how many people this kind of thing happens to, and without them even saying anything or saying a word, you don't know that it happens this much, but it does. And I've said in my post that there's been cases where it's happened to me, not that extreme, but every little piece of racism, it builds in somebody, and we have to do a better job of kicking this out of the world. But yeah, I think it was just a build up for me, experiencing it in my life, and then seeing all my friends go through it as well. I just wanted to help out in some way that I can.
Yeah, Chris, obviously there's been a lot of people, sharing their experiences on social media and privately as well. And then people who maybe don't have those experiences have been taking that in and examining their own views and behavior, I guess. What kind of conversations has this led to you having just with friends and family about these issues?
Yeah, I mean, people have reached out to me seeing what I'm doing now, and I've just talked to a couple of my buddies, guys that you guys had on the show, like Kwame Awua, Richie Larea, and just talking to them about what they're doing because they've been posting stuff too. And Kwame's actually one of the helpers in my fundraiser. So yeah, just talking to them about what's gone on in their life and stuff like that. It's just been like eye-opening to me because even though we're the best of friends, we talk every day. Uh, those kind of topics are not really something that we talk about necessarily every day, So it was kind of eye-opening to just see what they're going through and that stuff that they're going through that they've kept bottled down, as well as myself.
Hmm.
So I think obviously people right now are taking time to reflect on their own lives and their experiences, but then also, I guess, trying to come to terms with other people's experiences. And I'm wondering if you could just go in depth a little bit further on what you just mentioned with your conversations with your teammates and former teammates. Has any of it centered around any racism that you have experienced in Southern Ontario? And can you maybe provide some detail of that?
Yeah, I mean, like there's everyday things that happen. Like I remember in Richie's post, he posted like just simple things like walking down the street, somebody crossing the street, and look, you sometimes they're looking at you, they try to avoid you, whatever it is, whatever the case is. But for me personally, I remember there was one when I was down in Philly, when I was playing in Philly. Me and a teammate were on the way to practice, and we got pulled over just because of racial profiling. And the police officer was asking for his ID, and then he saw me in the passenger seat and just randomly asked for my ID as well. And it just that kind of stuff is just eye opening to me. At the time, like I didn't think of anything of it. I just tried to do what I could and just get away from the situation. So I just gave him my ID and went on with it. But now, like looking back on it, like think just small things like that, it just builds up and builds up, and you just realize how much of a problem this is in the world.
Yeah, one of the kind of frustrating things, I guess, has been that there's been a lot of instances like this over the past few years, and with social media now, they obviously get a lot more scrutiny. But maybe it seems like after a week or two or some time passes, people kind of move on, and you don't really see the meaningful change that you'd like to see happen.
Yeah.
Do you think with the kind of extent of the process that this time it is different, and we are going to see that change? And what do you think kind of ordinary people can do to make that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I could say I only hope so. I hope that, we'll see a bigger change than in the past. Like you said, a lot of things blow over after a couple of weeks. But you see a lot of people like marching and doing what they can to get out in the community and try to make a change. And you see it not even only in America, not even in Canada. Like I've been seeing it all over the world now. Um, and yeah, I think I saw it in like Korea or something like that recently. But yeah, you see it everywhere now. So people just support in ways you can. Get out there, get involved, even if it's just reposting things or just experience, just saying things that saying your feelings about the topic, or just talking to your friends, showing your friends that you're here for them. I remember just a couple of days ago, Daniel Crutzen on my team on Forge, he reached out to me, sending me a nice message, just talk to me about how he can't believe this is still going on and stuff like that, and just that he's here for me if I need anything and all that stuff. So just something simple like that even goes a long way.
Yeah.
Just with these protests and the movements going on right now, there's such an opportunity for people who aren't aware day to day of these blatant issues in our society to just sit back and listen and try and educate yourselves on how to be better. And obviously I'm no exception, and I'm sure in conversations I've had with both staff and friends that's the biggest focus right now, is trying to learn and be better. And here at OneSoccer, we're doing our best to line up quite a fethe Black athletes this week. So I want to ask you, I like to ask everyone I get to in this position to say, what are some of the questions we should be asking? What are some of the better ways or best ways to have that dialogue to help inch closer to a resolution that's long overdue?
I think some of the ways are just, just giving people like myself, like you guys are doing now, just giving us a voice, giving us a chance to speak out, giving us a chance to express ourselves. Just asking questions like what we've been through, if we've been through anything, if we know of anybody who's been through anything, and just getting the stories out there so that people can realize that it happens to more than one person. It happens to a lot of people, and it really affects us.
Mhm. Well, one final time before we move on to some more on-field discussions, where can viewers go to learn more about the fundraiser and to donate if they so choose?
So the link is in my bio at Chris Nanco, and then also my business account at Kicked Up Culture. You can find the link there, or you can just simply go to GoFundMe.com and then type in Kicked Up Culture Equality Fundraiser, and it should pop up there, and you can donate there.
Obviously, we encourage everyone to do so. Link is in the chat as well. We've just been told by our social media and digital media coordinator, Armin. So go to the link if you can donate. Even if you don't have the ability to donate right now, share it with your friends, share it with your circle, and let's keep raising this awareness, Chris, because what you're doing is pretty fantastic, and we applaud you for it. We do want to get to some soccer today as well. A big news is for you guys. You were just mentioning before we came on air that you had a training session today at 10 a.m. So what can you tell the viewers about what this return to training has been like for Forge and what it was like to be back in small groups with your teammates again?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. First day is always tough, but no, it was good. It was good seeing the guys. Obviously we're in small groups, but throughout the rotation of guys coming in, guys going out, you get to see the guys and have a little conversation with them. But yeah, it was good seeing everybody. Everybody's happy. Everybody has smiles on their faces, and just being able to kick the ball around back at Tim Hortons Field is amazing. So it was tough. It was tiring. I have a couple I'm sore from training today, but it's good to get out there again.
Chris, I've been out of Zoom yoga with Bobby's not helping with that, Chris. I thought you guys would have been nice and limber and ready to go.
No. Nothing can prepare you for some turf.
That's what I was going to ask you about that, Chris, real quick. Is like, have you ever been through any kind of period in your professional career or even collegiate career where you were off for that amount of time, where you weren't, doing on-field work and ball work consistently? And, what does that feel like to get back? I mean, how far behind is the group fitness wise?
I can't say I've ever been off for that much, like that long of a time. Felt like we had like 2 preseasons. But yeah, I feel like the CPL off season is already long as it is. So yeah, to have an extended off season like that, without being on the ball and stuff like that. They gave us individual programs where we would do stuff on the ball, and then like do running and everything like that, but it's not the same. But yeah, just being on the field again, it's tough to get back into it after such a long time.
It seems like Coach Bobby, based on what Kyle Becker told us on Friday, has been trying to continue doing film sessions with you guys. Just knowing him and how in depth he is and his work rate. Have you guys been doing film sessions on the opponents you faced last year and talking about maybe how you should have gone about something differently, or how you want to, contain, the opposition? Have you guys been doing that?
Yeah, we've been going over film, going over film of last year. We've split up into groups and all had the groups break down different parts of film, like attacking, defending, all that stuff. And we've been going over new players on teams, the old players on teams, key players, all that stuff. So yeah, Bobby's staying on point with everything. And yeah, he's just getting us ready for hopefully first day of the season.
Chris, is the preparation changed to be specific to this idea of playing in kind of a tournament, a World Cup style tournament? Has that changed anything for you in terms of the work you're doing, or is it mostly the same as a normal season?
I think it's pretty much the same as the normal season. especially since we haven't heard anything really about, or as of recently about the tournament style being set in stone or what's going on there. But I think, yeah, the preparation has just been pretty much the same. Getting our fitness levels up, trying to get the chemistry or keep the chemistry going with, like trivia games and stuff like that on Zoom calls, or or working in groups and stuff like that. So the preparation has pretty much been the same.
Aside from the smaller groups, Chris, what are some of the protocols that have been put in place for you guys? Because obviously health and safety is on the forefront of staff and media and fans who are curious about what it's like right now on the pitch. So how big are these group sizes, and what are some of the other protocols in place right now?
Because of the how do I say it? I guess the space that we have at Tim Hortons Field, we can have 6 players on the field at a time. I think it was 6 players on the field at a time, and then every player has their own basically like big square. So the field is broken up into the 3 sections, and 6 sections, but 3 this way and then 2 this way. So it's 2 by 3, and then we're going through stations and getting work in. So we have some finishing drills, some dribbling, and then like a fitness kind of thing to it as well.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. It's got to be surreal for you. I can't even imagine you come into, you're so used to training camps and team building, and all of a sudden you're doing these small sectioned off drills, and it's necessary, but I can't imagine that feels normal.
No, it's definitely not normal. We did like we were doing the drills today, and then closer to the end of the session, I yelled at Bobby and I was like, "Where's the 11v11s?" So yeah, that's just how I am. I just want to play and get back to the way things are supposed to be.
Just bringing back bad memories of 20 years ago in college, or what has it been now? 15 years ago in college, coaches were a little bit more old school. And one of the punishments we would have is, let's say we were not playing hard in training or in preseason. The coach would open up the field to the full field. Half the team would go behind one goal, half the team would go behind the other goal, and it'd be one-on-one full field.
Wow.
It was just
wow.
And so roll the ball out and it's one-on-one, and you were just running across the entire field, and it was insane.
Yeah, I've actually done that once when I was at Syracuse, I think. It wasn't full field, but it was pretty close to it. I think it was like 18-18. It was honestly hell.
I'm reliving this right now.
Yeah, Kurt's bringing up some traumatic memories right now. So let's move on before we get too deep down that rabbit hole. As Ollie alluded to, the talk seems to be focused around it, and in all likelihood, when the CPL resumes, it will be a neutral site tournament, barring any major changes. So with that, they're looking at different leagues and trying to take inspiration. I know the commissioners even said when he was watching the Bundesliga when it came back, he had his notepad out writing down ideas. And one of the more interesting single site venue ideas that has been percolating for a little while is the NBA talking about how do we give home field advantage or home court advantages to those higher seeded teams. And we've seen some ideas like the home team would start with possession in the second and third and fourth quarters, extra timeouts, coaches challenges, one player allowed to have an extra foul. You can designate your superstar to make it harder for them to foul out. So all kinds of crazy ideas to try and give that home field advantage back. So that leads us to today's thumbs up or thumbs down segment. I'm going to read out a list of ideas. I need to hear a thumbs up and a thumbs down on what you guys think about this idea. Some are crazy, some a little more conservative, and then just any comments you want to make about what that might look like in the CPL or any soccer league. So if everyone's ready to go, I got question number 1 ready to rock.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with most of these, but okay.
Some things never change. Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down. Number 1, the home team or the higher seed gets an extra sub, allowing them to have 4 instead of 3, or if the league goes to 5 subs like we've seen in other leagues, would give them a 6 sub. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Chris, your thoughts first.
I'll say thumbs up, because I have faith in our guys, and I think they can put on anybody they want and we'll still win.
Are you just still tired from training this morning? Is that influencing your decision?
A little bit. I tried to take a nap before this. It wasn't happening. My body's just shaking up.
Ollie, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I would say a qualified thumbs up. I think if we're going into like a playoff type system, then I would go back to 3 subs, and maybe you could give the home team a full sub. I don't think if we're expanding it to 5 subs during the regular season, I don't think you need 6. So, and maybe in kind of a playoff scenario.
Yeah, I'm thumbs down. I just don't think in sports we want to start giving teams an on-field advantage within the rules, right? So I do have a few things I'm going to add later, but I do think I'm going to disagree with most of these. But for the first one, adding an extra sub for one of the teams, thumbs down.
I think this next one's going to be a thumbs down for sure from Kurt, but I'm going to read it out anyways. The home team or the higher seed is allowed one timeout where the coach can address the entire team while the other team has to stay on the pitch. So team huddle, social distance style, other team stays where they are. Kurt, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm going thumbs down, but it's not for the reasons that I just said. It's because I think, if a coach is that desperate to talk to me, I don't want to talk to them probably during the game because they're probably going to have a go at me and yell at me. So I'm going to protect the players and say thumbs down.
Ollie?
Yeah, thumbs down from me. Like, I don't know why people are so determined, and VAR is another example of this, to just slow the game down and have as many breaks in play as they can possibly find. So no.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm agree with that. I don't think we should be slowing the game down any longer. Yeah, the fans already have to sit through a pretty long game as it is, and just keep the ball rolling.
We'll keep it rolling to our third thumbs up or thumbs down, probably the most radical of the list. And as I've mentioned on this show before, I'm all for a little bit of chaos and controversy. So I'd like to see this play out. I don't know that this is what I want to see in a CPL return to play, but I digress and I'll read out the statement. Thumbs up or thumbs down. The home team starts the first and second half with a power play, one man up rugby sin bin style, 5 minutes to give them an advantage over the away team to start the first and second half. Chris, thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm gonna say thumbs down. I don't like that idea at all. I mean, like, just think of if you're the player that's like the one extra player, and then you have to like do that for the first 5 minutes, and then you have to go sit on the bench. Like, what is that?
Could be the most exciting moment in soccer when the sin bin opens and someone gets to sprint out of it onto the field.
Pump of that fake crowd noise up, get an entrance song going, WWE style. I'm all for it.
I'll take
that
this
a
one.
thumbs down though.
I would thumbs down, but I would if we did do it, I would definitely have like Dom Samuel run out for us.
I'm going to take this one next, Oliver. I'm going to go thumbs down on the idea of this actually being put in practice, but I'm going to go thumbs up on the idea of a sin bin, and that instead of 2 yellow cards being an ejection, maybe 2 yellow cards is a 5-minute penalty. I'm actually quite interested in implementing a sin bin in soccer.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's a thumbs to the side. Thumbs down from Ollie.
It's a thumbs down from me. Like I think as well, 11v10 isn't like a power play in hockey, right? So I think you just have the team that was one down kind of absorbing pressure for 5 minutes or however long. It would create a pretty boring 5 minutes of football, and there wouldn't often be a goal. So no, not for me.
Spark the bus.
Yeah.
Hard no from Ollie. Okay, next one. Home team gets to choose. This one, as I backtrack a little bit, this one's interesting. I think this could have a potential, maybe not for the CPL right away, but some leagues. Home team gets to choose how to conclude extra time, whether it's golden goal, play the full 30 minutes of extra time or added time, and then, or penalties if they so choose. So the home team gets to decide how extra time will be played. Ollie, are we moving the barometer a little bit more on you for this one?
I think it's kind of an insane idea, and it would be a thumbs down. But from a kind of broadcast perspective, there's some interesting possibilities here. It kind of feels like on a game show when someone's won a certain amount, and then they have a chance to bet it all to win more. You could go to Carl Becker on the field and see whether he wants to pick the golden goal or a shootout. So it could be good from a OneSoccer point of view, but not from a football point of view, in my opinion.
Kurt?
Yeah, I'm going thumbs up on this one. I think it's because I was always playing for teams that were second and third best. So I know what it's. No, so
you're a penalty kind of guy. You're a penalty.
Yeah, so you know what it's like to be, in the last 10 minutes, Chris, at Creighton University, and somehow you've managed to keep it goalless, and you're just trying to hang on. So I can imagine, in that scenario, I'm on, the second or third best team. I get a 0-0. I want to go straight to penalties. So I want the option to choose potentially.
Chris, thumbs up, thumbs down, and what would you choose if you had the decision?
I'm gonna go thumbs down because I'm gonna go the opposite of what he said. And I've been on good teams. I've been on good teams, and yeah, I don't want that going down to a penalty shootout.
Always getting the Syracuse shout in when we can. Okay, finally, higher seed would be allowed to have a predetermined number of fans at the event. This seems like a logistical nightmare, but in theory, if Forge is the home team in this game, they can send 50 to 100 people, social distance them around the stadium. Do we like the idea if it was logistically possible? Ollie, thumbs up, thumbs down.
In theory, sure, we like the idea of fans in the stadium, but in practice, you know, are we going to fly them out from Hamilton and then have them kind of scattered around the stadium like 6 meters apart from each other? I don't think it's really workable, so it's gonna have to be another thumbs down.
Kurt?
Yeah, I got to go thumbs down despite loving the idea, because I can just picture, 50 supporters in a empty stadium being able to yell, and you can literally hear everything they say on the microphone. I'm not sure, that's a recipe for success for us right now.
Chris?
I'm gonna go with thumbs up just because I want fans in the stadium. Simple as that.
Very good. Okay, so that's all the predetermined questions that I had, but I'm going to give you guys each an opportunity. If you don't have one, all good, but I want to make sure this is a democracy. Everyone can nominate an idea. Kurt, first to you, any ideas for home team advantage?
Yeah, I had two here, but I'll just give you the better one. So the better one for me is the home team gets to select, in the event that it goes to penalty kicks, the home team, the higher seed, gets to select who takes the penalties on the other team.
Wow.
To me, that might fire me up. Like, even if I was a bad penalty taker, I'd be like, you picked me, or screw you. I'm gonna.
Yeah, but you don't get better and try harder at taking penalties because someone made you mad.
Sure, you don't. It's a mental game, penalties.
Yeah, well.
But you also don't know, like, if you're a terrible penalty kick taker, you might have an idea it's coming for you, but otherwise, I don't know if you just want to be like, by the way, this is for the championship, you're going.
Can I just get this in? Can I just get this in for Chris then, real quick, before we move on to Oliver's?
Yep.
About I prepared my 5 kick takers for Forge FC, and I'd like to know Chris's thoughts on them.
Now, did you prepare this list quickly? The best 5, or if you were the other team, who you'd want to take?
No, this is who I would select if I was Bobby Smirniotis. All right. So I got Oliver's boy Crutzen, Kyle Becker, captain. You got to have your captain taking kicks. I have David Edgar just because he's been at the highest level of football and has to have a cool head. Then I have Chris Nanco, and then I have Kwame Awua with that sweet left foot.
Okay, I'll say you got a good 4 out of 5 there.
Who are you taking out?
I would say if it was Bobby, he would probably take me out because in our past Sigma tournaments and stuff, I didn't do that great.
Okay.
So
who would you put? Who are you putting in?
So you have Crutzen, you have Becker, Eddie, and Kwame. I would say, who else can we put in there? I like to see Paulo take a penalty. I'm pretty sure he'll probably be good. But from the guys last year, I would say, who would it be? I'm gonna say David Chouanier.
Yeah. Okay.
I might have Cadell in there.
No. You don't want to trust Cadell with that.
I feel like he's got good technique, and you didn't know which foot he'd take it with, I think.
You could. Honestly, I would put his left foot over his right foot, even though he's right-footed.
Dude, this is going to be great content for when Forge and Cavalry meet in the final at the CPL tournament, and we get to replay this.
Okay, Ollie, your last suggestion before we say goodbye today.
Okay, mine would be let the home team select the refereeing crew.
Wow.
So I'm not suggesting that obviously the refs are going to show any favoritism or anything like that. They still call an unbiased game, but I feel like there are, Chris, maybe you can tell me whether this is true or not. I feel like players and teams have preferences in terms of referees they like. Maybe they communicate a certain way, they call the game a certain way, and you could give that power to the home team and give them a little bit of an advantage there.
Give you a thumbs up for that. What do we think? Kurt, Chris, thumbs up, thumbs down?
think Oliver's out of his mind.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which way
I think
I'm going on.
Oliver, did you just suggest that a team gets to pick the referee because the referee shows them favoritism in the way that they operate?
No, I said the referee wouldn't show any favoritism. He still calls the game as he always would. But I think maybe teams like certain referees more than others.
All right.
Some may call more fouls. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Fair enough. Okay, so that concludes thumbs up or thumbs down. That's going to just about conclude our time with Chris Nanco, but have to get in. We're having a town hall tonight with the Commissioner David Klanikin at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Asa will be hosting that town hall, so we've been asking fans to submit questions. Chris, is there anything you want to ask the Commissioner? We'll give you a chance to get in a question. We'll relay that to Asa.
Yeah, Commissioner, donate to my foundation, you know?
That is an all-star plug, Chris. Very well done. I applaud you for that. I was just going to bring it up again. I think we've raised almost $200 just in this half hour since we've had you on. So let's keep this rolling, everyone. Kicked Up Culture for Equality fundraiser. Find it on everyone's social media, Chris, and OneSoccer. And let's keep that ball rolling. A fantastic cause. And once again, Chris, we thank you for coming on and applaud you for the initiative.
Yeah,
thanks,
thank
Chris.
you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Everyone else, we'll see you at 7 p.m. for the town hall. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend. Thank you all. Donate to the fundraiser, and we'll talk to you very soon. Thank you, Chris.